Welcome back to Building Fallout. In our last episode, we were messing around the Morgantown Airport for an objective. I'm here at the train station next door because I wanted to sell a few things off. I need to turn that off. But we are here for a miscellaneous mission to register for more advanced responder training. Now, the reason that I want to get this done is there's no real big reward for it, but it's an easy mission. It's in an area we've already been through, so this might have already been cleared out. Of course, I server hopped because I error coded, which may happen a lot with this game, I'm not gonna lie. But still, totally worth it. I'm just on an older system that has trouble running it. So right now we're just trying to clear the area. Another reason that being near the Morgantown Airport is a good idea as far as like building a camp or something early on, because there's a whole band here to choose from, different instruments to give yourself the well-tuned bonus if you haven't yet found any kind of instrument to put in your camp. Right now we're just looking to clear the area of any scorched, because believe me, that's going to help out here in a minute. You know, scavenge as you go if you want, but this next objective we're heading for is going to send us all around the airport anyway, so you can take your time to scavenge. Right now I'm just trying to clear out enemies. And if ever, you know, I don't see anything, but I know something is there, you can always use your VATS just to get your bearings. Or if you just want to build a VATS character, that's also a complete option. I saw you. You saw me too. Come on. And again, you don't have to go all stealth with it. I mean, we are in a big old suit of armor. It should be easy to spot us. Looks to me as though someone had been here before and didn't scavenge bodies. Not a complaint, just an observation, because that allows you to pick up anything that they left behind. Alright, so we are here. Oh look, somebody already opened this for us. Now, because I'm not going for any of the hacking or lockpicking with my build right now, you're going to be passing by a lot of things if you follow my instructions. It's not the end of the world, you're not really missing out on much. So let's go ahead and start the training exercise. So go into your items after you pick up the holotape and listen to Patrol 1. Okay. So we're going to go back the way we came, and we're going to head out front of the airport. Doesn't really matter which way you go, I'm just curious as if I can make it. Alright. So up on the roof here, there's a crate that usually has a bunch of frag mines. Usually. You don't know who scavenged before you. I think that was really the only thing up on the roof here, though. Everything else is inconsequential. Legendary. Oh, and then he moved. Now, if you are a VATS user, the initial lock-on of VATS is always going to have a bit more accuracy. than just the steady aim. So if you're planning to use VADS, it's best to snapshot with it, in my opinion. Uh-oh, Liberators. Such a small target. Alright, so where did that fella go? There's that fella. A Furious Shovel. Now, if you happen to be playing during one of these events where they have the, treasure miners or the treasure scorched, you're always going to see like holiday gifts or miner pails pop up. You don't have to use them, but I don't see why you wouldn't. I mean, I just got a plan for something for the camp. I mean, it's cosmetic, but it is what it is. And in case you ever, miss exactly what you just got from it, you can go here to the new and see what's going on. Like, I just got a floater grenade. I think I got the polar bear, basketball, and all this good stuffs from that gift. There's liberators everywhere through here. But let's continue on. So here is... usually you'd have to get into the terminal to get in here, but it seems somebody's been through here and unlocked things for us, so... Alright. So from here, we're going to head back out behind the airport onto the tarmac. Now we're heading over here. You're going to want the gunsmith container. All the other containers have, lootables, if that's your thing. But the important one right now is over here with Responder Rocky. Grab his key so you can open up the safe, and then continue on your merry way. I'll go ahead and that was weird. Okay, so now I'm gonna head to the medical center, which is where we had found information on the inoculation. So now, I'm gonna come in here. Now, I had recently scavenged in here, so all this stuff probably isn't refilled yet. But we're gonna head to the back here. Scavenge around while we're at it. Now, we just got coordinates for Abby's bunker. If you're feeling frisky, you can go investigate. But we will be getting there eventually. So right now we're just scavenging around looking for anything useful. And here's the cache that we need. Alright, so the control tower is back over this way. Now, I have raided this safe earlier, so it probably has not restocked itself. But in case it has, which it has, I just want the aluminum. Alright, so here at the control tower, we're just going to head up. Now, this rhododendron, or rhododendron, is... It looks like someone's nuked here recently, because if we pick that up, that gives us flux. Doesn't it? Yep. So, someone has definitely nuked here recently, because there's still some radiation residual. But all of the nuked flora, that's going to be an advanced thing closer to the end of the game. So for now, let's just go ahead and finish out what we were doing. Go to the patrol bulletin. Go to, no, resource requests. And then from there, listen to the last holotape. I don't think there is anything else to scavenge at the top here. So from here, it's saying that there's an event right here. Senses violence. Okay, well, let's go see what that is. Now, these random events will pop up everywhere, but the ones that you're really looking for are public events. Pay attention to the level requirement for it, because you can do anything at any time, but it can also backfire if you don't have if you don't have proper stuff going on. What is this? I think this is somebody's Fallout First survivor camp. At least that's what it looks like. My thing is, I'm right here at the event. I guess I have to join it from the map. Really? Well, let's spend the 10, Why is this loading me somewhere? I was standing right on it. Can't say that I've ever done this event before either. So, little journey of discovery. Census Taker Robot wants you to correct some of his numbers with murder. Sounds fun. Where did you put me? Oh, my goodness. Why in the world? Yeah, why in the world would it show me all the way up there and yet force me all the way down here? That makes no sense. I don't like it. because the census taker's all the way down here. I'm fairly certain. Oh no, everything's my level, which makes no sense. No, there it is. Okay, this might not have been the best of ideas, because down here in the Cranberry Bog is like the tops for difficulty. So instead, before we go further in and make even more of a mistake, let's head back to camp. Yeah, that wasn't fun. Why in the world would you show me that the event is up in the north there and then send me to the hardest part of the map? That was quite an oversight there, Bethesda. Thanks for that. Excuse me. Alright, so now back at Home Sweet Homestead. Oh, and you're legendary, eh? Not anymore. Now, it is very common for enemies to be near your camp or spawn near your camp. So, personally, I just take it as an invitation to extra EXP. Like, why not? Not to mention, if you can figure out where most things are spawning, you can just set up turrets to take care of it. Like, for example, at this camp area, they always seem to spawn on this side of the bridge of the railroad tracks. So, the best bet for me to stay protected... Let's see, where's the edge? Alright. So the best bet here would be to throw a turret on like a nice stand so it's even and they can target, but I'm not worried about that at the moment. Instead, let me go ahead and hop out of our little tank armor. Go ahead and check our supply cache, see if anything has respawned, which it has not. Go and check our junk and purified water, which you'll get into the habit whenever you're in a nice setup camp. You'll get into the habit of running around grabbing resources that you've got going on. So, repair all structures. Nope. And it's always good to check in where your camp unit is, because in case something that you didn't notice is broken down or been damaged, you can go ahead and just repair everything from there. Nothing to cook. Cool. So, still well tuned and well rested for a bit. Now, at this point in time, there's a couple of things that you could do. I mean, if you want to stay up here in this area and just explore Morgantown, there's some good stuff. There's always, you know, the workshop over here, the Gorge Workshop, because it's going to send you, you know, defense quests and stuff like that. So that's always good experience and items and what have you. What we're going to do instead is we're going to head south towards our next objective. Well, first of all, you can see how close we are in level. I'm going to go back to stats. You see we're almost to a level 9. So while we're here, what we're going to do, actually, is you're going to go to a weapons workbench. Now, this is only useful if you need like a tiny bit of experience, because they're worth 1 apiece. But you can see it's very easy for us to make or to have nice storage of steel. Steel is very common. But we're going to go ahead and just make as many throwing knives as it takes to get that extra experience and get us to level 9. There we go. Because whenever you're all said and done with making those, you can go into your inventory and I don't need 20 of these. Let's, scrap 10 of them, get some of that steel back. And that's why I say that it's more useful just to do it for a tiny bit of experience, because making them and then scrapping them, you're going to get a fourth of the steel you put into it back. But you earned that EXP, so... And don't forget when leveling up to check for any new perks that might be useful to your build. So I don't think there is any at this point for us in what I'm trying to accomplish. So we're going to continue leveling up our Lone Wanderer. Get that maxed out. Alright, so now that we've got that all sorted, let's go ahead, take a break for some sustenance. Always want to try and keep those full, because being fully fed and fully hydrated gives you AP regen and disease resistances and max health, as well as a +1 to strength and endurance. Why wouldn't you want those bonuses? So from here we're going to be heading south. Now mind you, I say we're heading south right now because we're going to be following these railroad tracks. Okay, it's super simple. Actually, it looks like we're incredibly lucky because the Poseidon power plant has the event for powering it up going on, which means someone was down there recently and walked past it. We could just spend the 6 caps to get down there fast, but there's no guarantee that while you're playing that's going to happen. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to follow the train tracks. Not to mention we also want to make a stop here, so I'm going to go ahead and put that waypoint up. But it is easier when heading down the tracks instead of taking this, big curve and then start down. We're going to go through the Gully mine, which eventually will be storyline driven. But you don't have to. It's not a requirement. It's just extra experience to clean out the cave. Not to mention it's a small passageway around one big bend of the railroad track. But fairly simple. All we're doing is following this railroad track to the south. Now, like I said, you don't have to go through the mine. As a matter of fact, you could just go over the mountain. You could continue to follow the railroad track. It's totally up to you. Because fertilizer is always useful. So I'm just going to wait a second because I want this location on my map to be found. There we go. So exit to Gully Mine, and we're gonna go in. Now what this is explaining is if you're on a team, you can either come in singularly by yourself as the team leader, or you can join the team leader on their version of the mission. So if they were in here for storyline, you could be participating in their storyline and helping them out, which is cool because then they can turn around and do the same thing for you. But really, we are just here for some scavenging. There's brain fungus about, It's a bunch of good stuff. Now, the first time you come into Golly Mine, you're going to get an objective to mine coal. It's going to point a few of the veins out for you, which is cool. But first, we're going to come up here to the back. Nice. I actually want to say that that one is just outside. Huh, crossbow. Now again, anything that wow, 15? Okay, not too bad. But anything that you pick up weapon-wise that you want to try and use, go ahead. I'm just using the hunting rifle until we start collecting heavy weapons. But when it comes to the treasure maps, it's just a matter of finding the area and then finding the mound of dirt. You don't even need a shovel or anything to get them up. You can just dig them up by hand, apparently. But I find, instead of, hunting them singularly, oh, I got this one, let's go look for it. I find it's better to just save them up because you can keep digging the same spot. Which sounds kind of ridiculous, and it is, but super useful. So we're just in here, taking out any scorched we see. Still someone about. Where you at, though? Alright. Some grenades. Now, this cage eventually is going to be part of some storyline, and the keypad combination is over here on the wall. So, there's that. There's always some supplies around. And down at the base here of this little tunnel, if someone else hasn't come through and grabbed it, is gold nodes. So go ahead, grab a few pieces of gold. Whether or not those will be useful to you, I have no idea. But it is a precious resource, so go ahead and grab it. Oh, excuse me. But again, we're just here for a little bit of scavenging. I don't know, I might try the crossbow. Oh, looky there, we finally got our suppressor. Okay. So, now I gotta remember. Okay, never mind. Now you can see up there in the corner it says the public events arise, the heart of the swamp. Suggested level is a level 35. And that is one of those missions where I highly suggest you listen to them. It gets a little hectic. Don't have the skill. But like I said before, you're not going to pass by much that's, locked out when it comes to terminals and treasure chests and locked doors. Excuse me, I had a bit of a sneezing fit there. I apologize if I didn't get to my mic in time. Oh. Sorry if I sound like crap, I've got a bit of a cold going on, but let's go ahead and continue on. Just check your corners. Somebody heard me snipe him out. Another one bites the dust. Oh, come on now. There it is. Still, someone's about, huh? Now, here we are at some of the coal nodes that they're telling us to mine. There's another one over here behind the brain fungus. Now, I think you only need to harvest them 3 times for the objective to be fulfilled. But I think there's like 4 nodes in here that I'm aware of. So we're just going to continue through the mine. Oh, really? I can't get through the gate or the fence? Ridiculous. Alright. Now, another reason that this is a good place to come scavenge is there's a lot of explosives down here. Like explosive boxes, there's like 2 or 3. I say that's a lot, but it's actually quite worth a bit. And then there's also like this little area that I'm scavenging right here. It's got a lot of good and useful junk. And again, you know, explosive crate. Explosive crate. There is another one back near that one security gate. Now the one downside to coming through and grabbing all this junk is the fact that we're not going to be anywhere near a workbench for a while. So we're going to be weighted down with all this supply. And there we go, 20 extra caps and a little bit of EXP. Just for grabbing some coal. Now, I don't remember what use coal is, but it ends up being useful. I guess. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what recipe it's needed for, but... And then you can continue to, you know, scavenge about if you feel like it. I don't really think there's too much worth it, but... And now here we are at the mine exit. Should be a few more scorched out here. That's an old photograph. That was one of my first camps. If you put an instrument chair like up against a wall or something, for some reason it pushes your character away from the chair and you have this, you know, levitating tuba player now. So, but you can see the gorge junkyard in the background, how I used to be on that little peninsula next to the river. Just because it's good to have a water source at your camp. Alright, so now we are outside the other area of the Gully Mine. Be aware, because there are some scorched out here. It looks like they've already been taken care of, though. Or at least one of them was. What the? That is the first time I've ever seen a scorched fall. Like, it's not a scorched, that's why. Sorry, dude. Was not trying to start a fight. Alright, so there's still another scorched around here. Was. Now again, if you want to fork out the extra money for the subscription of Fallout First, then you don't have to deal with other players, but most of the time they're really cool. Like, Very rarely do you run into any kind of like bullying or anything like that, but you can always interact. Hello, fella. But right now, I'm looking to scrap all this junk. And there is a bunch of good junk lying about here, but we're going to continue on with what we were doing. If I remember correctly, yeah, if you come up here and fall down on this little platform, there's an explosive crate, and there's almost always a hunting rifle up here next to this body. And apparently some ammo too. So there's that. Well, looky there. Someone left a legendary weapon just lying on the ground. So from here, we're going to continue going south along the railway. But I think this episode has gone on for long enough. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it off here, and then we'll pick it up on the rest of our journey. But hopefully you found this informative and entertaining, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.